look into question number 1. State whether the following suppliers would be treated as supply of goods or supply of service as per Schedule 2 of CGST Act. Comment on this. Renting of immobile property. What is your answer? Service. Transfer of right in goods without transfer of title in goods. Service, because it is right. Works contract, name itself says service. Works contract, software, and then food. Always it will be supply of service. Temporary transfer or permitting user enjoyment of intellectual property right. Permanent transfer or temporary transfer? Temporary transfer, that is supply of service. Sale of personal car, sale of personal car to a dealer, personal car. First, it is not in the course or furtherance of business. So as it is a personal car, not in the course or furtherance of business, it is not a supply. Okay. And next, any treatment or process which is applied to another person's goods, carrying out process on the goods belonging to other person. Service. Here everything is service except this point number 5, but that point number 5 will be coming under not a supply. What about 7? Transfer of title in goods. Title, that will be goods, supply of goods. Transfer of title in goods. Title is transferred, so it will become goods. Then next, see this question number 3. Question number 3, Sharp Sales, an air conditioner dealer. This is what I was referring to. In Janakpuri, Delhi needs 4 air conditioners for his newly constructed house. So what you should do is that I am not going to read the answers. I am going to explain you the concept and explain you the questions. What you should do, you should read the answer once. So when you read the answer once, then only you know how it will be presented in exam. Got it? And what we will do, after this batch gets over, I will give you question papers. So total 4 question papers will be given to you with suggested answers. That 4 question papers, question paper number 1, that is test number 1. That test number 1 will be having 50% portion. Test number 2 will be having 50% portion, remaining 50%. Test number 3 is 100 marks and it will contain all the portion, okay, for 100 marks. Test number 4, DT IDT 1 question paper, mock test paper, okay. So I will give you 4 question papers with suggested answers, but only to those students who are staying till the end of the class, okay, for them only. And that handout we will be giving it to you. So what you need to do is that these and all you need to read, but that you need to practice. That question papers you need to practice, question and answers. So without seeing the answers, you need to just practice and then cross check with the suggested answer, like a test you do. You understood? Because you have ample time and you divide whenever you wanted to do the test and you take up the test and you do it for yourself. Is it clear? And for our Power Prep batch students, so that will be evaluated and given by our team, but for others you have to evaluate on your own, but I will give you the suggested answer for that. Done? Now say this. Sharp Sales, an air conditioner dealer in Janakpuri, Delhi, needs 4 air conditioners for his newly constructed house in Safdarjung enclave. Therefore, he transfers 4 air conditioners on which ITZ has already been availed by it from its stock for the said purpose. Examine whether the said activity amounts to supply under section 7. What is your answer? Yes, because it is disposal of business asset. Correct? What they are doing, 1 air conditioner they are taking 4 air conditioners from its stock they are transferring. Okay. So therefore will it become supply under 7(1)(c)? Yes, air conditioner is a business asset on which ITZ is availed. So therefore it is disposal of business asset on which it is availed. It will become supply under 7(1)(c). Further, Janakpuri resident Akash approached Sharp Sales. He sold an air conditioner to Sharp Sales for 5,000. So he is one individual. He sold his AC and that AC is bought by Akash 6 months before for his residence. Does the sale of air conditioner by Akash to Sharp Sales amount to supply. Is it for consideration or without consideration? But the previous paragraph is without consideration. So we refer to 7.1c. In that 7.1c, what is the point? DRIP. D for disposal of business asset. Yes, it's a disposal of business asset. On which ITC availed? Yes. It may be personal in nature also. For his house he is taking. Who? That particular Shahab sales. It is treated as supply under 7.1c because the disposal of business asset may or may not be in the course or furtherance of business, but it will become supply under 7.1c. But the next one is, that is one person by name Akash is selling the AC. So is it for consideration or without consideration? For consideration means we need to refer to 7.1a. For 7.1a, what we need to see? Any activity for consideration in the course or furtherance of business. Activity is what? Sale of AC. For consideration is what? 5,000 rupees. Is it in the course or furtherance of business? No, because it is his personal asset. Personal asset he is selling. But easily remember, we have a business definition. But actually, what is not business? All personal activities are not business. Is it clear? So all personal activities will not come under business. So it is a personal activity. It is not business. Accordingly, will it become supply or not a supply? Not a supply, because he is selling the AC which is used in his residence. So like sale of AC is supply under 7.1a if when? If it is in the course or furtherance of business. Because for 7.1a, what is it? We need to check activity for consideration in the course or furtherance of business. Then only it will be supply. So in this case, even though it is activity for consideration but not in the course or furtherance of business, consequently it is not a supply. Now, whenever you are getting a paragraph question like this, these are called as case study type questions or application based questions. You should ensure that you are writing this answer in 4 points. 4 points means this 4 checklists should be present. First, you need to give the reference. What is the reference that you need to give? Section 7.1a or 7.1c. Suppose if you don't know section 7 subsection 1 or clause and all, at least write section 7, because you need to remember the section numbers at least. Section 7 is what, 8 is what, like that you need to remember. So first you need to give the reference. And sir, you don't know the section number at all, then write as per the provisions of CGST Act, worst come scenario, okay? But you have to write it like that, as per the provisions of CGST Act, like that you write. Then that is if you don't know the section number also. If you know, you have to put the section number. Then next, number 2, you need to give the provision. What is that provision? As per that section, what does it say? For example, this disposal of business asset point, what will you write? As per section 7 subsection 1 clause C, read with schedule 1, disposal of business asset on which ITCs avail constitute supply even though without consideration. So provision you are writing. Then discussion. So discussion means you need to connect the given question to the provision. In the present case, Shahab sales, transfers 4 AC from the business stock to his house, okay, which is disposal of business asset, and on such ACs ITCs avail. Got it? So finally, conclusion. Therefore, what is the conclusion that you will give? Therefore, it constitutes supply under section 7.1c. Okay. Therefore, it constitutes supply under 7.1c. Like that you need to write. Understood, pa? This is the way in which you need to present the answer for this. So what are the 4 things that should be present in your answer? Reference, provision, discussion, conclusion. You don't have to give the side headings, but ensure that at least this way you are presenting, that is enough. So whenever you are writing the test also, you need to implement the same. You adopt the same way and you try that, and then you cross check the answers, definitely you will feel the difference, okay? And only when you practice this way in exam, you will be able to perform like that. Then next, see the next question. Raman is an architect in Chennai. His brother, who is settled in London, is a well-known lawyer. Is brother dependent or not dependent? Not dependent. So related or not related? Not related, because he is not dependent. Raman has taken legal advice from him free of cost, means without consideration, with regard to his family dispute, not in the course or furtherance of business. Examine whether the said activity would amount to supply under section 7 subsection 1. Why it is not treated as supply? It is not a supply. Why it is not treated as supply? Any point you can write. Either you can write it is not in the course or furtherance of business, or you can write that it is not import of service from a related person. First, is it for consideration or without consideration? Without consideration. Means we need to refer to 7.1a or 7.1b or 7.1c, 7.1c. Import of service from a related person is only in 7.1c. In this case, not a related person. So it is not a supply. Now, would your answer be different if in the above case, Raman has taken advice in respect of business unit in Chennai? Even then it is not a supply. Why it is not a supply in both the cases? Sir, if it is for personal purpose, not in the course or furtherance of business, or for business purpose, both cases, first of all, it should be import of service from a related person. In this case, it is not an import of service from a related person. Consequently, it is not a supply. You understood? So, what is the section reference that you will give here? 7.1c, read with schedule 1. And what is the provision that you will write? Import of services. And finally, you do the conclusion. The next one, question number 10 you see. Question number 10. The other questions which I am not discussing is for your practice. You have to try that. Okay. Every question if I do, then only few chapters we will be able to complete. That is not my objective. Examine whether the activity of import of service in the following independent cases would amount to supply under section 7. Ms. Srinidhi Kaushik received interior decoration services for her residence located at Bandra, Mumbai from Mr. Rachel of Sydney, Australia. The amount paid for the said service is 5,000 Australian dollars. What is your answer? Is it for consideration or without consideration? For consideration. When it is for consideration, 7.1b, it is import of services. Import of services, because Srinidhi Kaushik is in India and she received services from Australia. So it's an import of service. 7.1b. 7.1b is what? Activity for consideration, whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. Even though it is for personal purpose, it will become supply under 7.1b. Next, second one pa. Ms. Srinidhi Kaushik received interior decoration service for her residence located at Bandra, Mumbai from her brother, Mr. Varun, residing in Sydney, Australia, wholly dependent on Ms. Srinidhi. Further, Srinidhi did not pay any consideration for the said service. Is it for consideration or without consideration? Without consideration. Without consideration, because she did not pay any consideration. Without consideration. Then you need to refer to 7.1c. Import of service from a related person or not? Check. Related person or not? Yes, because brother is dependent. So definitely related person. But will it become supply or not a supply? Supply or not a supplier? 7.1c. Supply or not a supplier? Supply. Absolutely wrong answer. It is not a supply because it is not for business purpose. It is for personal purpose. See there. Even though import of service, you should not miss these things. Even though it is import of service from a related person without consideration, but it should be in the course or furtherance of business. But here it is not in the course or furtherance of business because it is for her residence she is importing. So that's why it is not a supply. Are you getting this? Now where you need to check, whenever you get a confusion of this, you need to check this table which we have seen. What is that? For import of services 7.1c, it should be without consideration and in the course or furtherance of business. So course or furtherance of business should be yes. Course or furtherance of business should be yes in case of import of services. And therefore, we refer that. Next one. Third, will your answer change in the above case if Srinidhi has taken interior decoration services with regard to her business premises and not her residence? What is your answer? Supply. Why it will become supply? Because it is for business. First, import of services without consideration from a related person in the course or furtherance of business. Therefore, it will become supply under 7.1 C without consideration means 71C. Then next we have the concept of composite supply, mixed supply. You see page number 22. You see page number 22. Just one chart you need to know here. That is, there are two concepts for composite supply and mixed supply. The concept of composite supply and mixed supply will be applicable if there are two or more supplies involved in a single transaction. When there are two or more supplies in a single transaction. What if there is only one supply in the transaction? Whether we are going to apply this section? No. This section 8 deals with composite supply, mixed supply. We will apply this section 8 only if there are two or more supplies in a single transaction. So the first thing that you need to see is that whether there are two or more supplies in a single transaction. If it is no, then section 8 is not applicable. If it is yes, then three conditions should be satisfied. What are the three conditions? All the supplies should be taxable and naturally bundled in the ordinary course of business. Whether it is taxable or not, it will be clearly given in the question itself. But this is the place where you need to use your brain. Is it naturally bundled or not naturally bundled? When is it naturally bundled? One cannot be supplied without the another is naturally bundled. One cannot be supplied without the another. One can be supplied even without the another is not naturally bundled. Example, popcorn and coke combo in a cinema theater is naturally bundled or not naturally bundled? Not naturally bundled, because we can buy popcorn separately, coke separately. Correct? Then movie ticket with 30 rupees extra for 3D glasses. It's a 3D movie and you need to buy the ticket and you need to pay 30 rupees for 3D glasses. Naturally bundled or not naturally bundled? Naturally bundled, because without the 3D glasses you cannot watch the movie and therefore definitely you need to pay for it. That is naturally bundled. Correct? That's why when you book the ticket itself, in Book My Show it will show the option 2D or 3D. Same movie will be released in both formats, but it will give the option. You need to select the option and ticket price will change accordingly based on that. You got it? So therefore definitely it is naturally bundled. Then next part, you stay in a hotel and they provide a complimentary breakfast. Naturally bundled or not naturally bundled? Naturally bundled, because whether you eat or not, because there are some hotels where the complimentary breakfast will be pathetic, but even then the price of the hotel will not come down the same amount you will be paying. Correct or not? So whether it is naturally bundled or not naturally bundled, definitely naturally bundled. Whereas another example, battery and inverter, naturally bundled or not naturally bundled? Battery plus inverter. Very good, not naturally bundled. Why? Don't see from the recipient point of view, see from the supplier point of view. I am a seller. If you ask for battery, I will sell only battery. If you ask for inverter, I will sell only inverter. I will not tell, no, you have to buy battery also if you are buying inverter. Like that, I will not tell. It's up to me. Means, see, it's up to you to buy whatever you wanted. So I cannot compel that. So therefore, it is not naturally bundled. Whenever I am giving it together, does not mean it is naturally bundled. Are you understanding this? One cannot be supplied without the another means naturally bundled. And we need to see from the general business point of view, don't see the exceptions, see the more probable side. For example, laptop and laptop bag, naturally bundled or not naturally bundled? Naturally bundled. You will think it as not naturally bundled because basically you are all rich kids. And what you do, you buy MacBook or you buy costly laptops, etc. There they will not give back, because when you are buying costly laptop and all, you can afford bag and all they will give. But this budget laptops will be there, 20,000, 30,000 range laptops. For that, definitely, those who buy will be middle class and below middle class. So they will expect the free bag to be given. So therefore, in general ordinary course of business, laptop and laptop bag is naturally bundled. That's what. Basically, you are CS students. You see always the exceptional side. Because in a white paper, if there is one black dot, you see the black dot only, you will not see the white paper. You got it? But don't do that when you are interpreting this. You see the probable side, more probable side you need to see. In the ordinary course of business, it is naturally bundled. Next, one more case. This Pandal and Shamyana providers will do the renting of chairs and will also do the transportation. Pandal Shamyana service providers, they will only do the renting of chairs, they will give renting, plus they will do transportation of the chairs also. Naturally bundled or not naturally bundled? Naturally bundled, because in the ordinary course of business, they will only take care of that. And so they will only bring the chairs. Once the function is over, they will only take back the chairs in the ordinary course of business. So it is naturally bundled. And next one, AC and installation. AC and installation, naturally bundled. Exceptions are there. Sometimes you can buy only AC and you can get the installation done from your person also. But naturally bundled, because we need to see in the ordinary course of business. Are you understanding, pa? Then one more example. Coaching plus study materials. Coaching plus study materials. Naturally bundled or not naturally bundled? Study material, not books. Not books. Study materials like handouts, etc. for taking the classes they will give. Naturally bundled or not naturally bundled? Naturally bundled. But some places are there where for coaching separately you need to pay, for books you need to pay separately, like that. You understood? Are the exceptions. You got it? Clear? Exceptions and all you don't bring that is only universal like that. No. There are many coaching centers like us. We are good coaching center only, wherein for every student who enroll, we will be giving a book as a part of the classes itself. We are not charging 1 rupee extra also for the books, only our students. So how many power prep students here? Anything collected by our team? No, na? They are not collecting anything, na? Free only they gave book. Super. So that is what we are. We are not like others. So this is general. You understood or not? So in the ordinary course of business, book will be given as a part of the coaching. Therefore, it will be coming under naturally bundled. Okay. Don't see exceptions. Some idiots are there. Exceptions. Waste. Okay. You should not see them into account. Then next. Got the clarity about naturally bundled, not naturally bundled? So first, this is the place where you actually apply. Whether it is taxable or not, what you apply, it is given in the question. And whether it is principal supply or not, you won't apply. It's given, explicitly given in the question that it is a predominant transaction like that. Where you really use your brain is naturally bundled or not naturally bundled. If all these three conditions are satisfied, it will be composite supply. What are the three conditions, pa? All are taxable, naturally bundled in the ordinary course of business, principal supply identifiable, then it will be coming under composite supply. And when it is composite supply, how the price should be? Maybe single, maybe separate, irrelevant. The price may be together, the price may be separate, irrelevant. And the rate of principal supply will be taken on the entire transaction. Got it? So principal supply will have a rate, na? That rate will be applied on entire transaction. Example, AC 5%, installation 18%. So is both are taxable? Respond here. Yes. Naturally bundled or not naturally bundled? Naturally bundled. What is the principal supply? AC. What is the rate applicable to AC? 5%. So that will be applied on the entire transaction like that. Suppose if it is not a composite supply, then check is it for a single price or not. Yes. If it is for a single price, then it will become mixed supply. When it becomes mixed supply, which rate should be taken? Highest rate should be taken in the given supplies. What if it is neither composite supply nor mixed supply? When pa? First it is not a composite supply and it is not even for a single price, then it will be individual supply. Individual supplies means what we will do? That rate for that supply. Got it? Respective rates for respective supply. Respective rate for respective supply will be taken. Now look into some illustrations I have given in the next page. AC 30,000, installation 2,000. AC rate is how much? 12. Installation rate is how much? 18. Whether it is composite supply, three conditions. Condition number 1, all are taxable. Yes. Naturally bundled. Yes. Principal supply is what? AC. Therefore, it will become composite supply. And what is the rate to be taken? 12%. And it should be applied on entire 32,000. But sir, price given separately. Whether the price is given separately or not, irrelevant. For composite supply, always we will take the principal supply rate. So 32,000 into 12%, 3,840. Also for classification, what it is? Supply of goods or supply of service? Supply of goods. Because we discussed now only when it is a composite supply, it involves both goods and service. And we need to see what is the principal supply. If the principal supply is goods, entirely it should be classified as goods. So the entire transaction is classified as what? Supply of goods. Then another illustration, CA coaching 40,000, books 10,000, say these books are say published books, nil rate, and CA coaching 40,000, GST at 18%. So now tell me whether all the three conditions are satisfied. What is the first condition? All are taxable. Whether all are taxable? No. One is nil rated, means exempted, so it will not become composite supply. Are you getting this? Then second, will it become mixed supply? No, because for becoming mixed supply, first it is not a composite supply, not even mixed supply. Why not even mixed supply? Because it is not for a single price, neither composite supply nor mixed supply. Then it will be coming under individual supplies. When it is individual supplies, what we do? Respective rate for respective supply. Then 40,000 into 18%, 10,000 no GST. Got it? And coaching alone is taxable, so it is supply of services. Then next one, you see, next illustration. Popcorn and Coke, no separate price, single price, 299, popcorn 5%, Coke 28%, and tell me, is it composite supply? No. Why? Even though all are taxable, but not naturally bundled. Can we buy only popcorn? Yes. For example, for this climate, no one will drink Coke, na? Yes or no, pa? So therefore, they will tell only popcorn is sufficient, and maybe one water bottle you will buy separately. So why you need to buy the combo? You may not buy the combo. So therefore it is up to you, or maybe 2 popcorn, 1 Coke sharing like that and all also you can have, correct? You don't know all those things because you are CA students. So popcorn and Coke, so whether it is naturally bundled or not naturally bundled, not naturally bundled. So it is not a composite supply. Will it come under mixed supply? Yes. It will become mixed supply because there is a single price. So which rate should be taken? Highest rate. What is the highest rate? 28%. So therefore we need to take 299 into 28%. What if in this example they gave us breakup? They gave us a breakup like popcorn is 199, Coke is 99, like that. If they gave a breakup, then it is not even mixed supply. It will become individual supplies. We'll take the respective rates. Then look into the next one, accommodation and complimentary food. Accommodation, GST rate 18%, complimentary food GST rate 5%, so total 1,999. Whether all are taxable? Yes. Naturally bundled? Yes, because complimentary food means by default it will be given. Naturally bundled? Yes. What is the principal supply? Definitely not for the sake of food you will stay, correct? You are staying and you are getting the food, which means stay is the predominant element. So accommodation, what is the rate of GST on accommodation? 18%, that should be taken. So 1,999 into 18%, so 359.8 to 360. And here it is treated as supply of service because both are services. And remember for one point today, usually taxes and value should be round off to nearest to 1 rupee. All value of supply and taxes, even interest, anything that you are computing in GST should be rounded off to nearest 1 rupee, not 10 rupees. In income tax only nearest to 10 rupees income, but here it should be nearest 1 rupee. Everything is nearest 1 rupee. What is nearest 1 rupee means? 0.5 and above, round off to 1 rupee. Less than 0.5, ignore. Okay. So that's why 359.82 we are taking it to 360. Now in this illustration what if they give separately accommodation and food separately like that they gave? Still it is composite supply only, because for composite supply the price may be single or separate. In illustration above, if price is separate, even then it is composite supply and the rate of principal supply will be taken. Is it clear? Now look into this. Determine this practice manual question. Determine whether the following supplies amount to composite supplies. A hotel provides 4 days 3 nights package wherein the facility of breakfast and dinner is provided along with the room accommodation. Will it become composite supply? Just now we discussed, yes, complimentary food. So it will become composite supply. A toothpaste company has offered a scheme of free soap along with the toothpaste. Toothpaste to soap, naturally bundled. Which shopkeeper is giving, sir? When you ask for toothpaste, will they give soap also? No, na. Soap you have to buy separately. So therefore it is not naturally bundled. So it will not come under composite supply. Is it clear? Next, look into question number 12. Dum Dum Electronics has sold the following electronic items to Akbar retail store. Refrigerator 500 liters, taxable at 18. Stabilizer for refrigerator, taxable at 12. LED television 42 inches, taxable at 12. Split AC, stabilizer for AC. Dum Dum Electronics has issued a single invoice indicating price of each item separately. Price of each item separately. Price of each item separately. That's a crucial point. Akbar retail store has given single check for 1 lakh for all these items. First, all are taxable? Yes. Naturally bundled? No. No. So which place, which shop you tell me, no? If you buy AC fridge also they are giving. No, na. So you have to buy separately and therefore it is not naturally bundled and therefore it is not a composite supply. Okay. Will it become mixed supply? Why? Sir, even though you are paying single check, even though there is a single invoice, but the price is shown separately, so it is not even mixed supply. Then what it will be? Individual supplies. So accordingly, it will be taxable at the respective rates. Is it clear? Next, another question. You see this. Manikaran, a registered supplier of Delhi, has supplied 20,000 packages of 30 rupees each to Mukija gift shop in Punjab. Each package consists of 2 chocolates, 2 fruit juice bottles and a packet of toy balloons. Naturally bundled or not naturally bundled? Even though all are taxable but not naturally bundled, correct? So therefore we will take it as not a composite supply, but check whether it is for a single price. Yes, 30 rupees each, single price. So it will come under mixed supply. What is the highest rate? 18%. So that will be applied on the entire transaction. Then look into this question number 14. This 14 is related to, one circular movement of conveyance between the distinct person. Okay, please concentrate. Whenever there is a movement of conveyance between the distinct person, this is that circular. 3 points you need to remember. For one distinct person to, first I will explain, listen. One distinct person to another distinct person. If there is a lorry which is taking the goods or people, on the lorry there is no GST because the lorry will go there, will unload the goods, will return. So on lorry there is no GST. Is it clear? So what is the first point you need to remember? Movement of conveyances. Movement of conveyances. Conveyance can be lorry, truck, anything. Movement of conveyances between distinct persons carrying goods or people is not a supply. Okay, va? Second, movement of conveyance between distinct persons for repairs. We are sending it for repairs. For example, you have a workshop in another state. From this state to your workshop in another state, you will be sending a vehicle. Na? Again, for what purpose you are sending? For repairs. That is also not a supply. Is it clear? However, the workshop will do the repair activity. That will become supply. For example, you have factory in Tamil Nadu, workshop in Maharashtra. From factory in Tamil Nadu to workshop in Maharashtra, you are sending the lorry. On lorry, no GST, but the workshop will do the repair service for you, na? That will become supply. That's a transaction between distinct person, because your Tamil Nadu factory and workshop in Maharashtra is treated as your distinct person. Any transaction between distinct person, even though without consideration, constitutes supply because of that reason. Got it? And next, third point. If there is any movement of spares, that is spare parts, tools, etc., between the distinct person, not for further supply, but for consumption in the distinct person, then also it is not a supply. Example, you have a factory in Tamil Nadu and you have a factory in Karnataka. Factory in Tamil Nadu to factory in Karnataka, you are sending the spare parts. For what? For sale by the Karnataka factory or for consumption in Karnataka factory? For consumption in Karnataka factory, then also this movement of spare parts and tools is not a supply. What are the 3 not a supply between distinct persons? Number 1, movement of conveyance between distinct person. Number 2, movement of conveyance between distinct person for what? Either goods or people or for repairs. Okay, va? Then next, repair activity will become supply. Am I right? And even movement of tools or spare parts between the distinct person, not for further supply, but for consumption in the distinct person is also not a supply. See that quickly, this circular, it is clarified that such interstate movement of train, bus, trucks, tankers, trailers, vessels or containers or aircrafts. In short, I told you conveyance. carrying goods or passengers or both, or for repair and maintenance shall not constitute supply. However, applicable GST will be leviable on repair and maintenance done for such conveyance. So the workshop which is doing repair and maintenance, that activity will become supply of service. Also, the above circular is extended to interstate movement of rigs, tools and spares and all goods on wheels, and except in case where the movement is for further supply, means that tools are sent for what purpose? For consumption in the distinct person, then also it is not a supply. Even though here they use a word interstate movement, interstate movement, interstate movement, but actually this is applicable for intrastate movement also. See the note below. This circular can be applied even in case of intrastate if there are multiple registrations within the state. Now see this question. This is how we will get a question related to this. Gagan Engineering Private Limited, registered in Haryana, is engaged in providing maintenance and repair service for heavy steel machinery. For carrying out the repair work, Gagan Engineering Private Limited sends it container trucks equipped with items like repair equipment. So they are sending a truck. The truck contains what? Repair equipment. Okay, repair equipment like consumables, tools, parts, etc. From where to where? From Haryana workshop to its own repairing centers located in other states where the client's machinery are brought and are being repaired. Discuss the leviability of GST on interstate movement of trucks from the workshop of Gagan Engineering to its own repairing center in other state. On the truck, is there any GST? No, just now we discussed movement of trucks between the distinct person carrying goods is not a supply. Okay, wow. Now what is there inside the truck? Repairing equipment. What is there inside the truck? Repairing equipment, tools, etc. Whether GST is applicable on those goods? No. Yes, there is GST on that because it is not consumed in the branch, it is used for further supply. Where is it given? See that line. The customer will be coming to the center for repair, means using this repair equipment they do the repairs na. Means it will not come under spare parts or tools between the distinct person because these spare parts are used for further supply. It is not consumed in the distinct person. Is that clear? Of course, in this question they have not asked that point, but maybe in exam this will be tested na. This question is only about truck, and on the truck there is no GST, it is not a supply. Then next, look into this question number 15. PTL Private Limited is a retail store of merchandise located in 25 states or union territories in the country. For the purpose of clearance of stock of merchandise and to attract customers, PTL Private Limited launched buy one get one free for the same type of merchandise. For example, if you buy one shirt, then one shirt will be given. So this BOGO is something which is prevalent in trade. What is that BOGO? Buy one get one. Okay, lot of places you will see this buy one get one offer. Even in Swiggy, many places you will see buy one get one free like that. Have you seen that? Some newly started restaurants, or if the stock is not moving and all, they will give this offer. Now in this case, what is the treatment? Are they going to get the price for both or only one? One. See, buy one get one free means they are selling two, but they get the price of one. How it should be treated? Treat it like composite supply, because the other one is anyhow given free na, but you treat it as a composite supply or mixed supply. If it is like a sales promotion, it will be mixed supply pa. Otherwise, it will be normal composite supply, but it should be treated either as composite supply or mixed supply, and that single price is there na, that alone will be chargeable to GST. Is it clear? Example, you buy this Kinder Joy chocolate and you will get toy free. Composite supply or mixed supply? Composite supply. Why? By default for chocolate they are giving toy always, correct? This is composite supply. Next, you buy Nescafe Sunrise, one mug free. Now mixed. Why? Sales promotion. Not every time they give, only sometimes they give offer. And in your childhood also you would have seen, buy Boost, one bat free, buy Boost, one sipper free, correct? What is it? Sales promotion offer. Because for the sake of that free thing only, we will buy that product. We will compel our parents to buy that product for the sake of that free gift, correct or not? So this definitely, because when I take my daughter and son to any supermarket, so what they will do is that they will be very much excited to come to the supermarket, not for buying anything, to check all these things. Wherever there is freebie, they will check that and they will tell this product is good, my miss told and my friends told, like that they will compel us to buy. Okay, so this is the case which I am referring to, wherein for the sake of that gift only people are buying, as a sales promotion it is pushed. That is mixed supply. So remember, whenever buy one get one is given as free, it will be either composite supply or mixed supply. That's what you need to write as the answer. But it will be treated as a single price and chargeable accordingly. If it is mixed supply, what we will do? Highest rate we will take. If it is composite supply, same rate, whatever is the rate of principal supply, that will be taken. Next. There is one more point, grant of liquor license. So in that liquor license, sovereign functions, one more activity you need to remember. What are the sovereign functions? Number one, first sovereign function is panchayat activities. Second sovereign function is municipal activities. The third sovereign function is grant of liquor license. Who will grant the liquor license? State government. State government will grant the liquor license. That grant of liquor license is also excluded from supply. Okay, see this question. Saravana and Sons wishes to start supplying alcoholic liquor in the state of Tamil Nadu. Therefore, it applies for license to the Tamil Nadu government for selling the liquor for which the state government has charged specified fee from it. Examine whether the grant of liquor license by Tamil Nadu government to Saravana and Sons qualify as supply. What is your answer? No. Grant of liquor license will come under exclusion from supply. It will not be chargeable to GST. Suppose if that Saravana and Sons transfer the liquor license to some other person, will that be subject to GST? Will it be covered under supply? Yes. Only state government giving liquor license is sovereign function, that is excluded from supply. So what are the three sovereign functions you need to remember? Municipality activities, gram panchayat activities, and grant of liquor license. Okay. Then next, see this. Question number 17. Examine whether the following activities would amount to supply under GST. Glory Limited is engaged in manufacture and selling of cosmetic products. Seva Trust, a charitable organization, approached Glory to provide financial assistance for its charitable activities. Glory Limited donated a sum of 2 lakhs to Seva Trust with the condition that Seva Trust will place hoarding at the entrance of the trust premises displaying the picture of the product sold by Glory Limited. Glory Limited is engaged in manufacture. Seva Trust, a charitable trust, approached Glory to provide the financial assistance for its charitable activities. Glory Limited donated a sum of 2 lakhs and the Glory is telling what? I will give you donation, but you need to display my name or the products which I am making in the top of the building, like that. Okay. Is it conditional or unconditional? Conditional donation. So treated as consideration or not? Yes. And will that activity of displaying the products will come under supply or not a supply? It will be supply. What if they gave it but they did not ask anything? You take care, you enjoy, like that they gave. No? Unconditional donation. Treated as consideration or not treated as consideration? Not treated as consideration. Supply or not a supply? Not a supply. You understood? Now listen. You are giving me donation. You did not ask me to display your name, but as a gratitude I displayed your name. Then again, conditional or unconditional? Unconditional. Please concentrate. Unconditional. Even though I display your name out of gratitude, but we have a CBSE circular which says that if display of name gives business advantage to the donor, what should I do? Just I need to display the name, but instead displayed the name of the donor that gave the business advantage to the donor. For example, you know, this ACs in this hall, this is actually Mylapore Fine Arts Trust. It's a trust and they wanted to install ACs. When they wanted to install ACs, they approached many companies. In that one company said, don't worry sir, we will give you money like that, some fund they have given. And when they have given the fund, so these people, out of gratitude, they displayed these boards. See there, Lanker like that. Can you see? Lanker like that. Okay, wow. Either out of gratitude they displayed. Now there is a business advantage to the donor or not? Donor did not ask, but these people displayed. Is there a business advantage or not? Yes. So definitely it is a conditional donation, deemed as conditional donation, even though not as a compulsion, out of gratitude, but the display gives a business advantage, so treated as conditional donation. Display of name does not give business advantage to the donor, not a supply. If display of name gives business advantage to the donor, then it is supply under 7(1)(a) and it will be treated like sponsorship services. Okay. Now that is this question part. And next question, you see, you understood the first part? In that first part they can twist also. They can twist also all those possibilities we discussed. Then second, Mr. Swami of Chennai is working as a manager with ABC Bank. He consulted Messrs. Jacobs and Company of London and took his advice for buying a residential house in Mumbai and paid them a consultancy fee of 200 UK pound for this import of service. Is it import of service? Yes. Where the supplier is located? Outside India. Where is recipient located? In India. Is it import of service for a consideration or without consideration? For a consideration, but it is not in the course or furtherance of business. Will it become supply or not a supply? Supply, because for 7(1)(b), for consideration, it may or may not be in the course or furtherance of business, correct or not? So therefore it will become supply under 7(1)(b) even though it is for personal purpose. Then next, question number 19. Question number 19, the display of donor name is there na, related to that. Examine whether the following activities would be treated as supply under GST law. Mr. Sonu from Chandigarh purchased a water cooler from Malhotra Brothers of Hosirapur for 25,000 to donate it to a temple situated in Hosirapur. Mr. Sonu directed Malhotra to engrave the words on the water cooler donated by Mr. Sonu from Chandigarh and dispatch the water cooler directly to the temple. Is there a business advantage or no business advantage? Business advantage. What business advantage? Only individual name is given. Who is Sonu? No one knows. Who is Sonu pa? There are a number of Sonu, Mono, etc. and all pa. We cannot take that. So if they mention the company or if they mention the business which Sonu is doing, for example, proprietor Sonu Jewelers, business name is there, business advantage, or Sonu Sood, actor, like that if it is mentioned, definitely there is a business advantage. Purida pa, there should be a business advantage. Mere mentioning of name is not a business advantage. Are you getting this? For example, donated by Rajnikant. Any business advantage? No. No business advantage because there are a number of Rajnikants in India. Donated by Rajnikant in bracket superstar. Only one superstar. That is Rajnikant. Therefore, there is a business advantage. You understood or not? So that is what? When you mention just the name, it will not be known to anyone. But if you mention the trade name or the business name or the profession that they do, then there will be business advantage. Is it clear? So just Mr. Sonu's mention. So there is no business advantage to the donor. Therefore, it is not treated as conditional donation. Unconditional donation, treat as consideration or not treat as consideration? Not treat as consideration. Consequently, it is not a supply. Okay. Then second part. Vesco Limited, a registered person in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, having head office located in Singapore, received management consultancy service free of cost from its head office. Free of cost. 7(1)(b) or 7(1)(c)? 7(1)(c). Import of services from a related person or another establishment located outside India without consideration. Is it in the course or furtherance of business? Yes. So therefore, it will become supply under 7(1)(c). Then next. There is one last area, very important area in supply chapter, that is related to liquidated damages, consideration for tolerating an act, etc. So let's try to understand that. Page number 27 you see, GST on liquidated damages, compensation penalty. But usually this is the place where we pretty much get confused and we write it wrongly. So that's why carefully listen, please listen, it's a very, very important area and they will be twisting this in exam many times. Either in the first question they will be giving or separately also they will be asking a question on this. Please concentrate first. What is the meaning of liquidated damages? As per Contract Act, when one person enter into contract with the other person and out of the two parties, if any party breach the contract, the other person suffer the damage. The person who breached the contract will pay some money to the person who suffer the damage. For example, we both enter into contract and you breach the contract. When you breach the contract, I suffer the damage. For that you will give me some money. You understood? This concept is known as liquidated damages. Now, what is the nature of these liquidated damages? We need to check. If the liquidated damages are compensatory nature means there is no possibility of performance. and it is given as a compensation just to give the person a compensation to recover his loss. He suffered a loss. It is irrevocable loss. But some amount we are giving, some monetary amount we are giving, that is called as compensatory in nature. Example, THARUN'S stampede, many people died. Now, for which government and actor Vijay has given the compensation. Now tell me, is it recoverable? I mean, is there any possibility of performance? No. Okay, next time again I will be alive, sir. Again stampede, again settu velallan, sir. No, sir, not possible. The moment person is dead, because of money, can you bring the person alive? No, not possible. This is compensatory nature, not treated as consideration. You got it? Another example, insurance compensation. There is a major road accident and completely the vehicle is destroyed, and insurance company paid the compensation. Now tell me whether this compensation is recoverable. Is there a possibility of performance, or seriously there is a loss? There is complete loss. And just because of that money, will this be reversible? No. So that is again compensatory in nature, not treated as consideration. You got it? An actor signed a movie to act and he walked out of the movie, and because he walked out of the movie, producer suffered the loss, and now the producer is charging him some money and the actor is paying. Is there a possibility of performance or no possibility of performance? No possibility of performance. So this money which is received by the producer will be coming under compensatory in nature, not treated as consideration. Okay, Papa. And you drove a car and you hit one person, that person is dead, and that person filed a case on you, and the court is telling you to pay 10 lakhs to his family. Is that 10 lakhs, whether we will be treating it as consideration? Definitely no. If that be the case, then okay sir, I will kill 10 people into 10 lakhs, 1 crore I will pay, like that you will tell. You understood? So no, that is compensatory in nature. So this will not be treated as consideration. You got it? Suppose same actor, listen carefully, same actor, he said, sir, I may not be able to act now, I'll act later, because of which the producer suffer the loss, but the producer is okay, fine, you act late also. Means the film will have a dates, the dates gets extended. When the dates gets extended, is there a possibility of performance or no possibility of performance? There is a possibility of performance. Means the actor is acting but he is not acting on time. Now in this case, he pays some money to the producer. Which category it will come? Will it be compensatory in nature? No, it is not compensatory in nature. It will come under consideration for tolerating an act. Means a producer is tolerating an act of the actor. That actor is going to perform, but he is performing late. So that's why producer recovers the money from him. That will be treated as consideration for tolerating an act. That will be treated as consideration. Is it clear? One more example. you enter into contract with me, you are a builder, you enter into contract with me, you did not complete the construction on time, for which you gave me some money. Is there a possibility of performance or no possibility of performance? Possibility of performance, but you are doing it late, for which I tolerate your act and I collect some money. Where it will be coming? Consideration for tolerating an act. Suppose you are not at all doing the construction. You are not at all doing the construction, then in that case, what will happen? I suffer the loss. So whatever money that you pay to me is compensatory in nature. Understood the difference or not? Simple pa. If there is a possibility of performance, for that if the money is paid, that is consideration for tolerating an act. If there is no possibility of performance, if the money is paid, that is for compensatory in nature, not treated as consideration. Okay, va? In between, one more point is there, that is penalizing in nature. What is it penalizing in nature? It is agreed between the parties. It is agreed between the parties, but the intention of that money is neither to compensate nor to tolerate, but to penalize a person. To penalize a person from doing such act. Example, check dishonor charges. Check dishonor charges. When you draw a check and you don't have account balance, then the check gets dishonored. When the check gets dishonored, the bank will be collecting check dishonor charges from you. Correct? Now, in the case of this check dishonor charges, whether there is any loss suffered by the bank? No, there is no loss suffered by the bank. You got it? Fine. Is the bank accepting? Okay, fine, you dishonor? No. What is it bank is telling? You should not dishonor. If you dishonor, I will levy. Means it is what nature? Penalizing in nature. That will not be treated as consideration. So, which two liquidated damages not treated as consideration? Compensatory in nature, penalizing in nature. Others will be treated as consideration. Consideration for what? Tolerating an act. What is the tax treatment of that consideration for tolerating an act? See the principal supply. If the principal supply is taxable, this consideration for tolerating an act is also taxable. If the principal supply is exempted, this consideration for tolerating an act is also exempted. Example, train ticket cancellation charges. Which category? Compensatory, penalizing, or consideration for tolerating an act? Penalizing. Sure. Which means Indian Railways is restricting you from cancelling your tickets. Correct? Is that the intention? No. It's not penalizing in nature, sir. You have to cancel. If you are not traveling, they will ask you to please cancel so that they can give the ticket to some other person who is in the waiting list. Correct or not? There is no loss to the government. It is not compensatory in nature. They agree that travel plans will be changed. So you can cancel. Not at all a problem. And if you cancel, so definitely they will be giving the ticket to some other person. So not even penalizing in nature. But which category? Consideration for tolerating an act. As you cancel, we already prepared a ticket, we already prepared a chart in your name. So now we suffer some losses. So it's okay, fine. But you pay some money called as cancellation charges. This is consideration for tolerating an act. Is it clear? Now, if it is a AC ticket, taxable or exempted? Generally, AC ticket is taxable or exempted? Train AC ticket, taxable or exempted? Taxable. So cancellation charges for this AC ticket is also taxable. What if it is a sleeper class ticket? Exempted. So because generally in case of transportation of passenger by airways, railways, other than first class or AC is exempted. Only first class or AC is taxable pa. All others will be exempted for railways. That is general classes, sleeper class ticket, and chair car, sitting, second class sitting, everything will be exempted. But first class, any first class or any AC will be taxable. So sleeper class ticket is generally exempted. So what is the cancellation charges for sleeper class ticket? That is also exempted. Is that clear? Now say this. Agreement to refrain, tolerate or do an act. Under GST, agreeing to refrain from an act or tolerating an act or situation or to do an act is treated as supply of service. Condition for taxability. To qualify as taxable supply, there must be an expressed or implied agreement. Consideration must flow. Such agreement can be independent contract or part of another contract. But if the payment is merely event in the course of the performance of agreement, and it does not represent the object as such of the contract. Means what? Compensatory in nature. No one will enter into contract to breach the contract, na. So therefore, which is compensatory in nature cannot be treated as consideration. And so there are some examples here. So what you need to remember, you please write down one chart here in page number 28. First you need to take liquidated damages, liquidated damages. What is liquidated damages? Amount received on account of breach of contract, on account of breach of contract. Liquidated damages, that is amount received on account of breach of contract. This liquidated damages is divided into two parts. So total 3. Compensatory nature, compensatory nature, penalizing in nature, others. Compensatory in nature, penalizing in nature, others. Compensatory in nature, example, you write insurance compensation. You write insurance compensation. What is the treatment? Is it consideration or not treated as consideration? Not a consideration. When it is not a consideration, it will become supply or not a supply? Not a supply. Same way, penalizing in nature. Example, check dishonor charges. Check dishonor charges. What is the treatment? Treat as consideration or not a consideration? Not a consideration. Even penalizing in nature is also not a consideration. So supply or not a supply? Not a supply. Both are same treatment but different intention. Different intention. Same but different. Okay. Then others. Others. Example, it is what? Consideration for tolerating an act. What is the example? Train ticket cancellation charges. Correct? We discussed train ticket cancellation charges. Train ticket cancellation charges. So this train ticket cancellation charges treated as consideration for tolerating an act. Consideration for tolerating an act. And what is the treatment of this? Taxable based on principal supply. Taxable based on principal supply. Consideration for tolerating an act, and it will be taxable based on principal supply. Clear? Now just apply this chart in exam whenever you get any situation. I have given few situation pa. You tell me check dishonor, fine or penalty, where it will come? Penalizing in nature. Treat as consideration or not treat as consideration or not treat as consideration. Penalty for violation of various laws. Income tax penalty, GST penalty, traffic fine, etc. All these are what? Penalizing in nature, not treated as consideration. Then forfeiture of salary or bond amount. So employee not given notice. When employee not given notice, he quit the employment. What employer will do? Will retain the PF, leave salary, etc. And it is in what nature? Compensatory or penalizing in nature? Penalizing in nature, to penalize the person. So therefore again not treated as consideration. Late payment surcharge or fee. Example, electricity bill you did not pay on time, you paid late. Is it compensatory in nature? No. Is it penalizing in nature? No. Because, listen, why it is not penalizing in nature? They agree that every person will not have money, so you can pay late, for which you need to pay charges. Means I am agreeing to your performance of the contract but delay in performance of the contract, for which this will be others, consideration for tolerating an act, but exempted. Why exempted? Electricity is exempted. So late fee for electricity is also exempted. Is it clear? Suppose if it is landline bill, landline mean telephone bill taxable. So late fee for telephone bill also taxable. Then fixed charges for power. Usually when you increase the power consumption, usually in electricity bill, some extra deposit they will collect. You know that? Generally electricity bill will be say 5,000, 6,000, 5,000, 6,000 like that. Suddenly when it goes to 12,000 or 15,000, some extra money they will collect from you. Got it? That is called as surge charges because you are consuming more. So whether it will be consideration for tolerating an act? Yes. It is not compensatory in nature, it is not penalizing in nature. You consume tala, you consume, because if you consume more we get more money, correct or not? You consume, but suddenly when you increase, we are not prepared, because of which in other houses there will be decrease in the voltage. You got it? In your house you are consuming more, so there is a decrease in voltage. That's why we are not able to supply the proper power, so but we will be okay with it. So it will come under others, consideration for tolerating an act, but it is exempted. Why it is exempted? Electricity is exempted, so this charges is also exempted. Then cancellation charges already we discussed. Then one more point, forfeiture of earnest money deposit. What is this? Usually for immobile properties, you first enter into contract to buy the property, some token advance you will pay. Thereafter you will not buy the property. So what the property owner will do? Will forfeit that money. Correct? In income tax you would have studied. Forfeiture of earnest money deposit. So that forfeited money will be forfeited. Will it be treated as compensatory in nature? Will it be treated as compensatory in nature? Yes. Because you are not buying it. You are not going to buy it. If you say I will buy late, and if you buy late for which you pay charges, that is consideration for tolerating an act. You are not at all buying, and the person has waited for you. You did not buy, so therefore he suffered a loss for which he is forfeiting that. Compensatory in nature, not treated as consideration. Is it clear? Mostly these are the cases which will be tested in exam. Now see this question, you will understand. Happy Constructions Limited, like that one question is there. You see that page number 15, practice manual. Happy Constructions Limited, a registered builder under GST in Bengaluru, Karnataka, has got permission to build 5 floors from the municipal projects for one of the projects at Suraj Nagar. Aditya Constructions, a neighboring housing project, approached Happy Constructions Limited to discuss regarding blockage of the sunlight issue arising out of construction of 5 floors and asked it to build only 3 floors, for which 20 lakhs was offered as compensation. I have a house and next to my house you are constructing a 5-floor building, and when we are constructing 5-floor building, so my house is such that if the building is not there, only sunlight will come. If the building is there, sunlight will not come. You understood? So I have a building, and next to my building some 5 floors are constructed, because of which in my house sunlight will not come. So I will be approaching them and telling, I will give you 20 lakhs. Don't construct 5 floors, construct only 3 floors, so that the sunlight will enter into my house. Like that I am making a proposal. That is this case. So sunlight issue arising out of construction of 5 floors and asked it to build only 3 floors, for which 20 lakhs was offered as compensation. You are my neighbor, I am giving you 20 lakhs for what? Not constructing 5 floors, but constructing only 3 floors. Happy Construction Limited agreed to the offer. Freely when 20 lakhs they are receiving, why will they not accepted the offer? It may be noted that Aditya Constructions is not ready to pay any further amount to Happy Constructions in addition to the amount already agreed. Means this 20 lakhs alone will be paid. Now tell me whether this 20 lakhs received by Happy Constructions is compensatory in nature? No, not compensatory in nature. Penalizing in nature? No, but consideration for tolerating your act. What is that? you are telling not to construct, they are accepting that, and for which you are paying, that is consideration for tolerating an act. And where it will come? Will it be treated as consideration? Yes. And will it be chargeable to GST? Yes. But it will be taxable on inclusive basis. Why it is taxable on inclusive basis, pa? See this line. Aditya Constructions is not ready to pay any further amount. Means this 20 lakhs received itself is inclusive of GST. The recipient is not ready to pay any extra money. Means that is inclusive of GST. The rate of GST, CGST, SGST 9% each. So what we should do? 20 lakhs into, please do the calculation. 20 lakhs into how much? 18 by 118. 20 lakhs into 18 by 118. CGST, SGST 9% each means 18%. So 20 lakhs into 18 by 118, how much? 1 lakh 52,000 divided by 2. Divided by 2. That is CGST, SGST. Okay, va? So total tax will be 1,52,542 pa. Total tax 1,52,000 or CGST component is 1,52,000. CGST component is 1,52,000. So you are having calculator now. You know how to use calculator. In the calculator, 20 lakhs you need to press. Into like that one symbol will be there. You need to press into and then take 18. Then divided by one symbol will be there. Divided by 118. You do that. Don't be lazy in this and all. You do that and tell me what is the number you got. Huh? Hey, one number pa. I will only do pa. Next class bring calculator. Waste. 20 lakhs. One number you are not able to tell pa. 20 lakhs into 18 divided by 118. That is 3,05,084 is the total amount, and out of this divided by 2, that is CGST component 1,52,542.37. So rounded off to 1,52,542 rupees will be taken as the CGST component, and SGST also same. That is the answer for this. Look into this tax invoice, debit notes and credit notes, like that one topic is there. See that. Various documents involved in GST. See this first, tax invoice. So tax invoice, who will be giving tax invoice to whom? Supplier will give tax invoice to recipient. In which case? Registered supplier. In which case? Both FCM as well as RCM. In case of FCM, who will give? Supplier to recipient. In case of RCM, who should give? Recipient to supplier if the supplier is unregistered. That is called as self-invoice. What is the time limit in which self-invoice should be given? 30 days from the date of receipt of goods or services. And only in case of taxable supplies, tax invoice will be applicable pa. And there is one very, very important point. Please concentrate. There is a government department which is registered for deducting TDS, and they are making supply to you. They are not having normal registration. They are registered for deducting TDS. Now they are making supply to you, on which you need to pay GST under RCM. Okay, wow. Government department registered only for deducting TDS. You are recipient who is getting goods or services from the government department, and this transaction is covered under RCM. Who should give invoice to whom? Supplier to recipient or recipient to supplier? Recipient to supplier. Recipient to supplier. Why, sir? Because even though they are registered for deducting TDS, they are treated like unregistered person only. Self-invoice will come only in case of supplier being unregistered and the transaction is RCM, correct? But even if the supplier is registered only for deducting TDS, they are treated as unregistered person. Therefore, the recipient has to give self-invoice to the supplier. See that point? If supplier is registered only for deducting TDS, then they are treated as unregistered, and the registered recipient shall issue self-invoice as if supplier is unregistered. This is only for self-invoice. In other place and all, don't take them as unregistered. Only for this purpose. Generally, they are registered for deducting TDS. Then, bill of supply. And invoice is mandatory or optional? Mandatory. The words used is shall. Same way bill of supply. Again the words used is shall. In which case bill of supply? A registered person making exempted supplies or a person opting for composition scheme. Mandatory, yes. They have to give bill of supply. Time limit, same time limit. Whatever time limit of tax invoice, the same time limit. Then there is something called as invoice cum bill of supply. Whenever the sale is made to unregistered person, B2C, whenever the sale is made to unregistered person, then they are making sale of both taxable goods and exempted goods, then in a single document. For example, you went to this Palamudir Solai, one shop, you purchase fruits and vegetables, plus you are also purchasing other commodities which are taxable. Fruits and vegetables exempted, commodities taxable. Now you are an unregistered person, will they give separate document, 2 slips, one for taxable, one for exempted? No, one slip itself, both will be mentioned, correct? So which means that is invoice cum bill of supply, and it is optional. Instead they can give 2 separate documents also. A registered person is supplying taxable as well as exempted goods or service to unregistered person. Time limit, same time limit of tax invoice. Then see this, one special point is there. In case of low value supply, what is a low value supply? Less than 200 rupees. Value of supply less than 200, not equal to 200, less than 200. Neither tax invoice nor bill of supply. They don't have to give any document, provided 3 conditions are satisfied. What are the 3 conditions? Number 1, recipient is unregistered. Recipient is unregistered. Condition number 1, recipient is unregistered. Condition number 2, recipient is not in need of invoice. Recipient is not in need of invoice. Condition number 3, a consolidated invoice. A consolidated invoice needs to be raised by the end of the day. Just for accounting purposes, they will prepare a consolidated invoice for accounting purpose and keep it with them. So these 3 conditions should be satisfied. What is that? So low value supplies, that is less than 200, tax invoice as well as bill of supply not required if the recipient is unregistered, recipient not in need of invoice, and a consolidated invoice is generated at the end of the day. In case of multiplex theatres, even if the value is less than 200 rupees, they have to generate a invoice, nothing but e-ticket. They will give a e-ticket now. We will show that at the time of entry, they scan in, that e-ticket is deemed as invoice. In case of multiplex theatre and invoice, e-ticket deemed as invoice to be issued even if the value of supply is less than 200. While determining this value of supply, should we include GST or exclude GST? Exclude. Everywhere in value, exclude GST. Only in one place, include GST, that is e-way bill. Then look into the next one, debit note and credit note, that is given in section 34. So when debit note, when credit note, already you know, whenever there is a increase in the invoice value or tax, what is the name of the document? Debit note. That is value or tax in invoice is more than, actual value or tax is more than the value as per invoice or tax as per invoice. That is simple pa, invoice value increasing or the tax is increasing. Already they prepared the invoice. So what is the document that they will be giving? Debit note. Who will be giving debit note to whom? Supplier to recipient. Mandatory, optional? Mandatory. Any time limit? No time limit. Why no time limit? Government is going to get money. So no time limit. Any time you can give. Okay. And what will happen because of debit note to supplier? Liability increases. What will happen to recipient? If registered, they will be able to take ITC. Then credit note. Credit note, when it will be given? You tell me logically. Value or tax in the invoice gets reduced. Value gets reduced or tax gets reduced. Or sales returns. Or deficiency in quality. First we raise the invoice and the recipient is not happy with the service, so he will negotiate and the value gets reduced. So deficiency in quality. For bad debts, credit note cannot be issued. Keep that in mind. Bad debts not possible. So these 3 cases, credit note. Who will be giving credit note to whom? Supplier to recipient. Mandatory or optional? Optional. It's up to you. If you want to give, give. Otherwise, no issue. Why? Because of credit note, the liability get reduced. Nah, that's right. May issue, not shall issue. If you want to issue, there is a time limit also. What is the time limit? 30th November of succeeding financial year or date of filing annual return, whichever is earlier. Ide debit note after 3 years, 4 years also you give, no problem, because liability is going to get increased. But here there is a decrease in liability, so they are telling a time limit is there. That too may issue, but debit note it will be shall, and credit note cannot be issued in case of bad debts. Now, for 3 invoices together, can I give a single debit note, single credit note? Yes. One or more credit notes or debit notes can be issued for multiple invoices. Then look into revised tax invoice. Concentrate. You are liable to get registered on a particular date, and you made application for registration within 30 days, and you got the registration certificate. Between this time, which time? The date you are liable to get registered till the date you got registration certificate. Can you issue tax invoice for your taxable supplies? No. Why? Because you don't know the registration number. Sir, you are liable to register, sir, but you did not get the registration certificate yet. You made application, so till that time, which time to which time? You are liable to register till the date you got the certificate of registration. During this time, you cannot issue tax invoice because you don't know the GSTIN. After the registration certificate, within 1 month, you can issue the revised tax invoice to recover the GST during this period. You got it? During this period, whatever GST is there, to recover the GST, you can give a revised tax invoice. Again, revised tax invoice, shall may? May. Because for them no problem, na? You have to pay tax. Sir, you have to pay tax. Whether you recover from your recipient or not, it is your headache. You got it? You go to hell also. We want our money. You got it? So that's why it is may issue. Every registered person who has been granted registration with effect from a date earlier than the date of certificate of registration may issue revised tax invoice in respect of taxable supplies during the period starting from effective date of registration till the date of issuance of certificate of registration. What is the effective date of registration? If you make application for registration within 30 days, the date on which you are liable to register is the effective date of registration. Mark it as important. At least in 10 attempts, in 5 attempts they ask this, effective date of registration. So what is the effective date of registration? If you make application for registration within 30 days, the date on which you are liable to register. For example, 1st October you are liable to register. You made application on 25th October and you got the registration certificate on 3rd November. What will be taken as the effective date of registration? 1st October, because you made application within 30 days. Suppose if you make application beyond 30 days, then the date on which you get the registration certificate will be taken as the effective date of registration. If applied within 30 days from the date when liable, date on which such person is liable. If not applied within 30 days, date on which registration is granted. And what is the time limit within which the revised tax invoice should be issued? 1 month. 1 month from date of certificate of registration. Don't get confused. Here it is 30 days, whereas here it is 1 month. 30 days for what? Making application for registration. 1 month is for what? Giving revised tax invoice. Suppose if you are not making application within 30 days, can you give revised tax invoice? No. Why you cannot give? Ayya, if you are not making application within 30 days, the certificate date itself is the effective date. Means you can give revised tax invoice from effective date till the certificate date, both are same. Which means revised tax invoice cannot be issued if application for registration is not made within 30 days from the date on which liability to register arises. Okay. So mark this as important. Revised tax invoice, they can make a question on this. Then receipt voucher. Whenever advance is collected, when advance, before preparing invoice, advance is collected, then for that advance, one document needs to be given by supplier to recipient. May or shall? Shall, mandatory. What is the name of the document? Receipt voucher. Proof that we have collected the advance. So receipt voucher shall, whenever advance is received by the supplier from the recipient, who will be giving supplier? It is required only when the payment is received before issuance of invoice. Time limit not specified means immediately. As and when advance is collected, you have to give the receipt voucher. Then payment voucher. Who will be making payment to whom? Recipient to supplier. So who will give this payment voucher? Recipient. When RCM. In case of RCM, when the supply is covered under RCM and the recipient is making payment to supplier, the recipient has to give payment voucher to the supplier. A registered person who is liable to pay tax under 9394 shall issue payment voucher at the time of making payment to supplier. Time limit not specified, means immediately upon making payment. Then refund voucher. Listen, first you collected advance. I'll give you an example. You did a marriage hall booking. Marriage hall you booked, and when you booked the marriage hall, 1 lakh rupee plus 18,000, 1,18,000 you paid to the marriage hall owner as advance. So what the marriage hall owner would have done? He would have given you a receipt voucher, correct? For 1,18,000, because he collected advance, he will give receipt voucher for 1,18,000. Now the booking is cancelled. When the booking is cancelled, what he will do? He will return entire 1,18,000 to you. But on that advance already he would have paid tax, correct? That's why he will be giving you a refund voucher, and based on that refund voucher, whatever already he paid 18,000 on advance, he will get it as a refund. You got it? So what is the document? Refund voucher. Who will be giving it to whom? Supplier to recipient. When it will be given? Whenever the supply is cancelled. Advance collected, but the supply is cancelled. Refund of advance received and invoice is not yet generated. And is it mandatory or optional? Optional. May issue. Refund they are going to get. That's why may issue refund voucher. Sorry. Now I am the marriage hall booking, like marriage hall owner, and I am not returning you 1,18,000. I will return only 1 lakh. I will tell, boss, you paid 1,18,000. 18,000 already I paid to government. So therefore I will not return that 18,000 to you. 1 lakh only I will return to you. Can I give refund voucher? No. I cannot give refund voucher. Why I cannot give refund voucher? Only if I return full amount I can give refund voucher. If I am not returning full amount I cannot give refund voucher. Then in that case, who is having the burden of 18,000? Recipient. You are having the burden. Can you claim the refund? Yes. Refund can be claimed by recipient also, even if unregistered. Okay, Papa? So supplier issues refund voucher, supplier will claim refund. If supplier is not issuing refund voucher, recipient will claim refund with respect to that advance portion. Is it clear? Now see this. This point I connected in one chart in page number 131. Page number 131 you can see. First, invoice is prepared. When invoice is prepared, if the payment is received before invoice, what is the name of the document? Receipt voucher. May or shall? Shall. Receipt voucher shall be issued by supplier to recipient. Suppose if it is goods, will they pay GST on advance? No. But if it is services, they will pay GST on advance? Yes. Why they will not pay GST on advance in case of goods? Because the time of supply in case of goods is due date or actual date, whichever is earlier. So they will not pay GST on advance. But on services, they will pay GST on advance. And invoice prepared. So they will pay the liability as per invoice. Thereafter money is collected. Is receipt voucher mandatory or optional? Optional. If you want to give receipt voucher, you may give, otherwise not required. Got it? Now, before invoice, the amount is refunded. Means the supply is cancelled before invoice. Before invoice, the amount is refunded. Supplier shall issue refund voucher or may issue refund voucher? May issue refund voucher. Supplier may issue refund voucher to recipient. Suppose if supplier issues refund voucher, on goods are they paying any GST? No. So there is no question of refund. On services they already paid GST na, so they will be getting refund of that GST paid. Who? Supplier. Suppose if supplier is not issuing refund voucher, then who will have the burden of tax? Recipient. That marriage hall example, who will have burden of tax? Recipient. Can recipient also claim refund? Yes. Read that point. If supplier has not issued refund voucher, burden of GST on advance is on recipient, and such recipient, even though unregistered, can claim. Understood? Next, suppose if the amount is refunded or the supply is cancelled, after preparation of invoice, then if the amount is refunded or the supply is cancelled after preparation of invoice, then refund voucher cannot be issued. Refund voucher can be issued only if invoice is not yet prepared. If invoice is prepared, there is one document which we saw, credit note. The liability will reduce na. We are cancelling here. Invoice prepared. So how to cancel the invoice? Only by way of giving credit note. But credit note is again may. So amount refunded or supply cancelled. Option 1. Supplier may issue credit note to recipient. What will happen to the liability of the supplier? That gets reduced. Or there is a time limit for credit note, so it could not be issued. So what if the time limit is over, but supplier refunded full 1,18,000, then 18,000 rupees they can claim refund. Refund can be claimed under excess payment of tax by supplier. Suppose if supplier says, no pa, I will not return you 1,18,000 and all, 1 lakh only I will return. Then in that case, who will claim refund? Recipient. Alternatively, recipient also can claim refund even if unregistered. Okay, va? So any combination is possible. Depending upon the question, you write the answer accordingly. Now, that is about refund voucher. Come back to page number 129. Delivery challan. Delivery challan. When delivery challan? Whenever there is movement of goods covered under supply or without involving supply. Without involving supply, then there will be delivery challan. For example, supply of liquid gas where the quantity at the time of removal is not known, or transportation of goods for job work, or transportation of goods for reasons other than supply. In all these cases, there is no supply but there is movement of goods. So delivery challan shall be issued. Who will issue? Supplier. Time limit not specified means along with the goods. As and when the goods are moved, delivery challan is required. Then, whether details of recipient should be mentioned in invoice. Please concentrate. Whether details of recipient should be mentioned in invoice. If it is B2B, definitely you need to mention the details of recipient in invoice. If it is B2B, means sale to registered person. Suppose if it is B2C transaction, please concentrate. B2C transaction, you remember where the relaxation is. B2C transaction, where the value is less than 50,000, where the value is less than 50,000, other than online transactions or OIDR or OMG, other than that online transactions, they have to mention the recipient detail only if the recipient is asking, otherwise not required. For example, I am supplier and registered, your recipient unregistered, say I am charging you fees definitely less than 50,000, so I don't have to give your details in the invoice. Just an invoice can be given without mentioning the recipient details. Okay, va? If you ask, sir, mention my name, sir, otherwise, I cannot claim any reimbursement or I cannot prove, because my parents will ask whether you paid fees or you attended free classes, telling that fees is there and you ate that fees. So that's why you mention my name, sir, like that you ask. So I will mention. Otherwise, I don't have to mention. Ide online classes la. If it is online live class, I have to mention the recipient detail because it's a digital transaction or online transaction. Even if the value is less than 50,000, say this. Value of supply less than 50,000. B2B, definitely need to maintain the details. B2C, services through ECO, OIDR or online money gaming, name of the state of recipient. Other cases, recipient details required only if requested by them. If it exceeds 50 or equal to 50, always recipient details needs to be mentioned. Just remember this example, you can remember this and write in exam, okay. Then, what is the usual time limit for issuance of invoice in case of services? 45 days. In case of banking, insurance. Others, 30 days. From when? From the date of completion. In case of bank, insurance and telecom sector. Bank, insurance, telecom sector. Between distinct persons, if there is any transaction, by end of the quarter, if they give issue invoice, that is okay. Between distinct persons. Which sectors? Banking, insurance, telecom. existing person means what? One registration to another registration. By end of quarter, if they give invoice before expiry of the quarter, that is sufficient. This already we discussed GST implications on debit note and credit note. What will happen to the liability of the supplier, liability of the recipient, ITC of the recipient, etc. Next, this receipt voucher, refund voucher also we have discussed. Look into this. An unregistered person is not supposed to collect GST from the recipient. If they collect, that is a violation of section 32. Because he is unregistered, now how can he collect? Also, GST component should always be shown separately in the invoice. Then, see the next one. HSN code in invoice. Usually in invoice, we need to enter the HSN, Harmonized System of Nomenclature code. For every product, one code is there. That code we need to enter. In case of services, we need to enter service accounting code. However, her service accounting code is 6 digits, all 6 digits needs to be entered. HSN is a 8-digit code, but you don't have to enter entire 8 digits. If your aggregate turnover during the previous year does not exceed 5 crores, you need to enter how many digits? 4 digits for B2B only for B2B, that is sale to registered person. Suppose if your aggregate turnover during the previous year exceed 5 crores, then you need to enter 6 digits for both B2B and B2C. Then next we have the concept of E-invoice and dynamic QR code. What is E-invoice? You prepare a regular invoice. That regular invoice you upload in the portal and you will obtain 3 things for that invoice. That is invoice reference number, digital signature and QR code. Just to verify the authenticity of this invoice, this will be given and it will be shared with the buyer. For example, I give you an invoice. What is the proof that this invoice is genuine invoice which I will upload in the portal and I will pay GST on that? I may not have paid GST also now. Tomorrow you will only get affected, ITC you will not get. So for that reason they have brought in E-invoice, wherein every invoice you prepare, you put it in the portal and you obtain this and give it to the recipient. So that recipient will be happy that yes, it's a genuine invoice. Tomorrow his ITC will not be affected. For that they brought in E-invoice. So look into the E-invoice process. So what will happen in E-invoice process? First, as a taxpayer, what you will do? You will prepare an invoice as per your billing system. Any Tally, Zoho, etc. You will prepare an invoice. Convert that invoice into JSON file, JavaScript object notation, and upload it into the portal, because everything should be converted to a common language. That common language is .json and it will be uploaded into the portal. Which portal? Invoice registration portal. After you upload in the invoice registration portal, the portal will do deduplication check whether the same invoice is already uploaded or not. They will check once, and then for this invoice they will be fixing 3 things. Number 1, invoice reference number, 1 unique number they will be giving, then digital signature, and then QR code will also be affixed, and they will be sending the data from there to suppliers GSTR1 and recipients GSTR2B. So supplier GSTR1 gets updated and recipients 2B gets updated. So which means liability added to supplier and ITC added to recipient. And thereafter the buyer can verify the invoice using that number or QR code. When he scanned the QR code, the invoice automatically come from the portal, which means it's a genuine invoice. Tomorrow the supplier will not escape from payment of GST. He has to pay the GST because it got added in his GSTR1. You got it? If he is not paying, means liability in 1 greater than liability in 3B. So they will give a notice. We saw na 88C. They will give intimation to him and they will recover the tax from him. Is it clear, pa? These are the steps involved. And there is one very important point. See, this procedure is not important. You need to know, you learnt. But what is important here is that if I have to give you E-invoice, but instead gave a normal invoice, even though I have reported it in GSTR1, it came in your 2B, but you cannot enjoy this ITC because it will amount to invalid ITC. You got it? Supplier has to give what invoice? E-invoice, but instead gave normal invoice. Now even though it is reflected in 2B of the recipient, can the recipient enjoy the ITC? No. Very important point. if a supplier is required to issue e-invoice but not issued e-invoice and issued a normal invoice, then recipient cannot avail ITC even though such invoice is reflected in 2A or 2B of the recipient. Then next, who are not required to give e-invoice? Who are not required to give e-invoice? Remember biggest. Remember biggest, important for theory. Who are not required to give e-invoice? Biggest. B for banking company. I for insurance company. G for GTA, goods transport agency. Next G for government department or local authority. Then E for exhibition of film in a multiplex theatre. S for SEZ unit. SEZ unit but not SEZ developer. Who is SEZ developer? The infrastructure developer. Who is SEZ unit? The one who do business inside SEZ. SEZ unit not required to give invoice. Finally, transportation of passengers like airlines, railways, etc. in any mode, they are not required to give invoice. These people are not required to give invoice, whatever the case may be. Not only with respect to the services which they render, if they render any other services also, e-invoice not applicable. For example, there is a bank. Generally, banking company not required to give e-invoice. If the bank is doing renting of immobile property, bank may own property that will be given on rent. For that renting activity also e-invoice not applicable. Yes, this exemption is for the entity, not for the service. This exemption from e-invoice is for the entity. So see there, whether exemption for mandatory generation of e-invoice is available for entity as a whole or only in respect of certain supplies made by the entity. It is clarified that exemption is available for the entity as a whole. Means if they are banking company, not applicable, that's it. If they are insurance company, not applicable, like that. Okay. Then there is a concept of dynamic QR code in invoice. What is a dynamic QR code in invoice? In order to promote digital transactions, they are telling the payment should be collected only by scanning QR code. And that is called as dynamic QR code. That too not the static QR code, dynamic QR code, which means when you scan the QR code, automatically amount will come and you will make the payment. That is called as dynamic QR code. Example, when you order anything from Amazon or Flipkart and select pay on delivery, so they will be delivering the product and they will show in their mobile the QR code. When you scan it, you don't have to enter the amount. Automatically you will get the amount and you will make payment now. That is called as dynamic QR code. And dynamic QR code means the payment should be collected only by scanning QR code, mainly to promote UPI transactions and digital transactions, so that everything is accounted. Okay. And recently also you might have heard of one Pani Puri vendor. So based on his UPI, he received the GST notice. So he was some roadside Pani Puri vendor, but what he did is that to all his relatives the same QR code he gave, because when they come here, they will also bring their entire family na. So my uncle will be coming next week, my brother-in-law will come thereafter next week, like that. Okay. So they all came here, the entire battalion got shifted, and when they shifted, total 18 people are in their family members. All the 18 people started using the same QR code, and therefore Pani Puri they sold. And that too, needless to say, I don't know what is there in that Pani Puri. Our people will daily eat it. Okay. So even without breakfast, dinner also they will survive, but without Pani Puri they cannot survive. So sales will happen, and the turnover went to somewhere 80 lakhs. 18 people across the Chennai, 80 lakhs turnover. See, I don't know how they will mix that water, what and all they would have done. So therefore, basically they put some pan and all, and they speak and mix it. So spraying, sir, everything will happen, and that not so tasty, baguta chai, like that we will eat. And so these people received the notice. So that's what, using UPI they wanted to track the people and wanted to collect the GST from them. So dynamic QR code has been brought, and in some cases dynamic QR code is not applicable. When? Remember big toe, biggest for e-invoice, for dynamic QR code big toe, B same, banking company, I insurance, G GTA, but another G is not there, only GTA. Big toe, T same, transportation of passengers by any mode. Then O, OIDR supplier, and E, exhibition of film in multiplex theatre. What is not there? This government is not there here, and SEZ unit is not there. Instead we have OIDR supplier. And to whom it is applicable. So far what we saw is to whom it is not applicable. Now we will see to whom it is applicable. If my aggregate turnover during the previous year does not exceed 5 crores, any previous year starting from 2017-18, if my aggregate turnover during any previous year does not exceed 5 crores, then both E-invoice and dynamic QR code not applicable. If my aggregate turnover during any previous year exceeds 5 crores but does not exceed 500 crores, for B2B it will be E-invoice, for B2C it will be dynamic QR code in invoice. If my aggregate turnover during any previous year exceeds 500 crores, for B2B E-invoice required, for B2C dynamic QR code is required. So if it exceeds 5, does not exceed 5, only E-invoice. Dynamic QR code not applicable. So when dynamic QR code is applicable, if my aggregate turnover in any previous year exceeds 500 crores, then only dynamic QR code is applicable. And invoice should be in prescribed form, and it is optional for taxpayer up to 5 crores. E-invoice gets auto-populated in GSTR1 e-way bill, and whenever we are preparing E-invoice, the physical copy of invoice is not required. Usually we need to prepare invoice in triplicate for goods, means original copy to the buyer, duplicate copy to the transporter, and triplicate copy to the supplier. In case of services, 2 copies, original copy to the recipient, duplicate copy to supplier. But that is not required if E-invoice is generated. And next, physical copy of invoice not required. QR code can be produced before the proper officer. Whenever officer stops our vehicle, in E-invoice one QR code is there, that is made available, that is enough. And type of transaction for which E-invoice is required. Remember, only for B2B transaction E-invoice is applicable. Means sale to a registered person. If sale to unregistered person, E-invoice is not applicable. And that outward supplies B2B, maybe FCM or RCM. Maybe I will pay GST or my recipient will pay GST. If it is my outward supply, for that E-invoice is applicable. Okay. So B2B transaction, whether it is outward supply covered under FCM or RCM. Then zero rated supplies, that is exports or supplies to SEZ, and credit notes and debit notes B2B. And there is one amendment here. Sir, when should I prepare E-invoice? Parallelly at the time of sale itself I should prepare a E-invoice, sir? No. You prepare a normal invoice and leisurely also you upload this invoice in the portal, not a problem. And if your turnover is more than 5 crores but less than 10 crores, more than 5 crores but less than 10 crores, no time limit, yearly once also you upload, no problem. But if your turnover is greater than or equals to 10 crores, when you prepare the normal invoice, within 30 days you need to upload these details in the portal. Which portal? Invoice registration portal. See there. This limit, taxpayers with aggregate turnover greater than or equals to 100 crores is now changed to 10 crores shall report the invoice or debit notes within 30 days from the date of invoice. Okay, sir, but if it exceeds 5 itself, E-invoice is applicable. Yes, but you don't have the time limit. Means yearly once also you upload all the invoices in the portal, no issue. Then dynamic QR code, we will enter all these details and prepare the dynamic QR code. It will have supplier GSTIN, UPI ID of supplier, bank account and IFSC code, invoice number and date, invoice amount with breakup of value and tax. First 3 details is static, it will not change. But the next 2 details will be dynamic, it will change. Correct? Because supply GSTIN, UPI ID of supplier, bank account will not change. For every invoice, what changes? Invoice number and invoice amount will change. And we have some exceptions here. UPI ID of supplier, suppose if the payment is collected by e-commerce operator, for example Amazon, Flipkart, whose UPI ID should be connected? Their UPI ID should be connected. That's why when you scan and make payment, it will come in your GPay, paying to Amazon Reseller Services Private Limited, like that it will come, not the seller. So it is e-commerce operators UPI ID will be given. Next, bank account and IFSC code. If the bank account is connected to UPI ID, then no need to give bank account separately, because through UPI itself the bank can be tracked. And invoice number and date. and invoice number and date. Suppose if it is a retail sales, 10 counters will be there. At a time, all the people will be generating bill. So how to give the invoice number? So any unique number they can adopt. Then invoice amount with breakup of tax. Listen, this dynamic QR code is applicable only when you collect the money from the customer after preparing the invoice. Suppose if you collect the money before preparing the invoice, dynamic QR code is not applicable. You can collect in any mode. So already we collected part of the amount from the customer. Now remaining amount only we are going to collect after invoice. Then in the dynamic QR code, how much amount should be mentioned? The balance amount only should be mentioned. Part payment received before and remaining after invoice, then only the balance due should be mentioned. Then there are two exceptions for dynamic QR code. First point, just now I told you, if the payment is received before preparing the invoice, we can receive it in any mode, but the cross reference of that mode of receipt should be mentioned. Like somewhere you would have seen in bills and all, mode, cash, card ending 4 digits, like that and all they will mention. So if you mention the mode, that is sufficient. If payment is received before at the time of generating invoice and cross reference of such payment receipt is mentioned in invoice, then suppose if the recipient is outside India, can they scan and make the payment through dynamic QR code? Impossible, because UPI we don't have outside India. UPI system is available only in India. So they cannot scan and make the payment. We don't have that facility. Okay, still they have not upgraded. So therefore the payment cannot be received by QR code. So QR code not applicable. Supplier in India, recipient outside India, place of supply in India, and payment in convertible foreign exchange. It is not an export. If it is export, anyhow e-invoice is there. And dynamic QR code not required as the recipient is outside India. Then very important point, in e-invoice one QR code is there, and in dynamic QR code also QR code is there. Both are same as sir? No. E-invoice QR code is generated by the portal. Dynamic QR code is generated by your device, that POS device or your mobile device, that will generate the QR code. Okay, va? Then objective of dynamic QR code is to collect the payment in digital form and avoid cash transaction. QR code mentioned in invoice and dynamic QR code is not same, because dynamic QR code is generated by supplier using point of sale device or banking apps. Okay. Now look into this. With this we will complete this and take break. Supply of goods and or services to registered person by notified person. Whether e-invoice is applicable or not, definitely applicable if it is B2B supplies. Correct? Next, exports. Yes, B2C supplies, e-invoice not applicable. Invoice issued by input service distributor, not applicable. Supplies made by notified person, tax on which payable under RCM, applicable. Whether you are going to pay GST under FCM or RCM on your outward supply, invoice applicable. Where specified category of supplies are received by notified person, that is inward supply under RCM. Inward supply under RCM, you have to give self invoice. Whether e-invoice is applicable or not applicable, not applicable, because e-invoice is only for outward supplies, not for inward supplies. So therefore e-invoice not applicable in case of inward supply. Import of good, that is also inward only, purchase only. So e-invoice is not applicable. Clear pa? So with this we completed this chapter.